Today is day 3 of the Brian Walshe trial. I'm going to give you my daily recap. I'm filming this on day 4, but I did watch everything yesterday on day 3. Day 3, with the defense arguing about a photo that's going to be admitted into evidence by the prosecution, it appears that it's going to be a photo of Anna Walshe laying on a rug inside the family's home, but there are children in the photo, so they want to have it cropped. We also are going back and forth still about the William Fasto text messages. He is the one who is in the relationship with Anna, and we are going to be hearing from him on the stand on Thursday. So they're talking about the text messages and what's going to be allowed, and the judge says she's going to let some in, but not all. The other thing that the judge brings up is that she has noticed that the prosecution has been really careful about tiptoeing around the wording for the searches and has said that the user searched instead of saying the defendant. And then once they start proving that it was him and that these were actual lies that he was telling, she's going to give the consciousness of guilt instruction. We are still in the cross-examination by the defense attorney of Trooper Garino, and they're going through some of the searches on the laptop on January 6th and January 7th. And then they eventually jump over to 12/27, where there is a Chase bank search, apparently checking bank accounts. And then Brian Walshe is searching for a Porsche to buy, divorce, and then he's searching to buy a 4-carat diamond ring. He also brings up that the first divorce search is actually about actress Katie Holmes' divorce. So it's kind of muddying the fact that Brian Walshe wasn't saying, I need a divorce. He was actually making plans for the future, trying to buy this Porsche for her, trying to buy her a ring, those kinds of things. And none of the searches for the odor, how to clean and mask a smell begin until January 3rd. Then we have the female prosecutor, I forget what her name is. She comes up and she says, look, this search, it happened on January 1st, 2023 at 10:40 a.m. It says your spouse is missing and you want a divorce. And that's really how they leave it, and he's done for the day. The next series of witnesses we really fly through. I'm not going to go on with background and everything, but what we get to is William Foley. He's the U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent. He explains Anna Walshe's travel in and out of the U.S. And back and forth to D.C. And yes, she traveled December 7th. Then the next witness is Patrick Reardon. He works for the Cohasset Police Department. He's a sergeant. He did an area search with the canine dog named Einstein. They published some photos. They show some photos here on the screen, but ultimately that search with the canine dog resulted in nothing. Next up, we have a witness for JetBlue security, and he is just showing that she had JetBlue tickets purchased, and there were flights that she didn't make that were canceled, and so she was refunded. The one I believe that was on Christmas Day morning, that's why she didn't get back to Cohasset on Christmas Day. We also get a witness from Lyft, and we get one from Uber, and it's testifying that no rides were called on January 1st. For Uber, there were 2 trips taken on December 30th, but no other rides. So it's really just flying through witnesses at this point. Eventually, we get to a female police officer. She is helping with the investigation into finding Anna Walshe as a missing person. So she gets the missing persons report, and she actually flies to Washington, D.C. with another police officer, and they do a search of the townhome in Washington, D.C., which results in nothing, but she does explain the condition of the home. Everything was clean, put together, it was furnished. There were 3 bedrooms at the top floor that were furnished and decorated for the 3 children. Another witness is a Swampscott police officer. He arrived at the mom's apartment complex, who is Diana Walshe. It's Brian Walshe's mom's, actually, I should have said, on January 9th at 330 Paradise Road around 3 p.m. And they, this is the trash collection there that they found. This eventually is taken to Peabody, where they do the sorting of the trash. Before I show you this whole picture, one of the next witnesses up is the landlord of the Walshe home. He also owns Cohasset Imports, and they show on the map the relationship to the home where the Walshes lived. He was renting it to them. It was $4,800 for the first 6 months and $5,000 for the next 6 months. The actual lease was in Diana Walshe, Brian Walshe's mother's name. The Walshe family was planning to move to Washington, D.C., so they wanted to do a short-term lease, And at that point, when they moved, Diana Walshe was expected to move into the home in Cohasset. From time to time, the landlord would have to go to the home and do repairs. He met the Walshe family, Anna, and he met Brian. He did meet the kids. He did testify that this was in the home here. This is the photo that they were talking about early on, before the jury came in. This is Anna laying on the rug. He gave them this house. He rented it partially furnished. So this is some of the furniture that came with the home. And this is the rug, the fireplace. He confirms, yes, this is the Walshe residence. He gets a phone call while he's in the Caribbean from Brian Walshe over New Year's Eve, and he says that his wife is missing, and he wants to know if he has any cameras at the home or at Cohasset Imports, and he says he doesn't have any, and that's pretty much it. One of the next witnesses is his name is Mark Savage. The things I write out, I can't remember what his name was. He works for New York Life Insurance. There is a brief voir dire, which is when the witness is interviewed in front of the judge. The jury's not present. And he explains that Brian Walshe was the beneficiary to an insurance policy that he sold to Anna Walshe. She received excellent health rating based on her health. That's really what the judge wants more info on. And he actually says that Brian Walshe was denied for life insurance because of the federal charges pending. The kids did have life insurance policies taken out on them, and that Anna Walshe was the beneficiary, and she could have taken out loans against those policies if she ever needed. The final witness for the day is David Gold. He is a forensic scientist for the Mass Crime Lab. He goes to the Walshe residence and he is looking for any evidence to collect and test. So he goes and checks out the couple's Volvo. He analyzed everything there. He found a hair on the door handle, or an apparent hair. He noted 2 areas of visible staining inside the vehicle. One was red-brown stain on the driver visor and another reddish-brownish stain on the passenger visor. He took pictures of the interior of the vehicle for us to see, and we get some pictures with the red-brown stains. Eventually, he does test these. He also noted that inside the Volvo, a lot of pairs of gloves were found. And in the center console, there was a pack of gloves. I think it was 16 pairs remaining. After he does that at the home, he goes to where the trash had been sorted and collected in Peabody. And they start going through 10 plus bags of items that they found that seemed significant to Anna Walshe being missing. They publish all of these photos for the jury. There is a Volkswagen, set of keys, all kinds of small personal items, bloodied towels that were inside different trash bags, tape and gauze also. This is a bloody bathrobe that was found. There's blood here on the bottom portion of it. There were 2 pairs of slippers that appeared to have blood stains onto them. This is the first pair. More bloody towels. There's also a jar here and a watch is found. The second pair of slippers is here. He said that it had some other materials on it, which could have been hair or other debris, but there's still more bloody tissues in the bags. In one of the bags, they found out cut up pieces of the rug. This piece of the rug appears to be bloodstained. And then this links that photo that Anna Walshe laying on the rug. They're saying this is the same rug, essentially. They also found a bloody Tyvek suit and just some more photos of everything laid out. There were Lowe's bags with things in them, brown paper bags with bloody items in them, inside larger bags. One of the last photos that the jury sees at the end of the day is this photo, which has the hacksaw, the hatchet, snips and shears, the hammer, tape, and this is pretty much what the jury is left with at the end of the day. In one of the final bags, they find a few different tarps that are actually taped together to make a larger tarp, and the remainder, it was the last hour of the court day, is them going through evidence piece item by item. They actually had him open each bag in the courtroom, but he doesn't remove the item from the bag. And the judge says that the jury, when they go back to deliberate, they will be able to open and pull everything out with gloves that they have. So that's the end of day 3.